Welcome back to another episode of It's in the Details. As always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment wherever you get the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Today we've got our first return guest, my boy Roger. It's funny because in the intro I did for our first episode together, I talked about how passionate he was, how passionate he is when he really is into something. And my boy comes in red hot this episode, right from jump, turned up to a 10. He may have used some big words, a few big words right off the jump, but that goes away. It's only temporary once he cools down. But then we get into it. We talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There are some minor spoilers. There are some medium spoilers. I don't think there are any major spoilers, but if you haven't seen that show yet, proceed at your own caution. We also talk about the Mighty Ducks Gamechangers. Yes, I know. The Mighty Ducks Gamechangers. Listen to the show, and you'll see why I think you should watch it. This episode was a lot of fun to do. We are thinking about working on some other things together, so stay tuned on that and enjoy. My buddy and I, Roger. Well, look who's back. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me again.
Good to have you back on It's in the Details. We're going to jump right into it. We haven't spoken about any of this stuff in like 6 months. Had there been any
Has
change?
it really been 6 months?
Yeah, man. You were the first person I talked to in December, early December.
That was December?
Yes, early
I
December.
thought that was this year.
No, because I did the one with Bex, my friend Bex. That was right around Christmas. And then I didn't release anything until March. So
right.
We haven't talked about any of this stuff really.
Right. Oh, wow.
Since December. So have there been any updates to any of the updates to your entertainment situation in the last 6 months?
As in like hardware or TVs?
Speakers, TV. You don't have to get into like the nitty gritty of it, but like
nothing really's changed. Still watching the same seasonal shows.
Yeah.
The hardware is still the same, except I had to do what's it called? Return. Oh my God, what's that phrase called? RMD, RDM.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
When you like break something, you gotta send it back to the manufacturer for them to fix it.
Okay, a return.
Yeah, so my monitor died out, and I had to send it to Best Buy. By the way, if anyone's watching and listening to this, and you want to buy one of those protection plans, okay, it's a fucking scam. Okay, let me tell you this now. Okay, I bought a fucking 4-year plan with this monitor, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. It's like an extra $200, like whatever. It's a nice safety cushion in case anything happens. A year later, my monitor dies out. I pack it all up. I take it to Best Buy, the Geek Squad. I'm like, hey, this thing's broken. Please fix it. I'll see you later. Here I'm thinking like COVID, like, okay, maybe a month. I'm thinking normally maybe a couple weeks, but COVID, like maybe a little bit over a month. Yo, this was like 2.5 months. And after like a month and a half, I called Best Buy. I'm like, yo, where's my monitor? And I think they forgot. Because all of a sudden, like I started getting emails and phone calls from people, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Roecken, blah blah blah. Like, this is what's happening." And it was a train wreck. And what's funny is what ended up happening is they ended up just sending the monitor to Asus themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't even fix it. Like they had nothing to do with it. Like they pretended to be me and sent it to Asus, and then Asus fixed it in 2 weeks and sent it back to me directly.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So if you're ever thinking about buying something with a protection plan, like it's not easy to get them to fix your shit. Like, I guess they kind of don't want to fix it because Probably cost them a lot, but I don't know. Whatever. Why are you taking my money then? You're not gonna fix this thing for me. Anyway, that was my rant. It took like 2.5 months to get my monitor back. I had to work from home with one monitor, like a animal. God, how do people do one monitors?
Roger
One
coming in
monitors.
hot.
Anyway,
So
you triggered me, man. That was. I'm like, yeah, my fucking monitor took forever. I didn't think I was getting it back too. At one point, they were like, we might just have to give you money for this thing. And then I'm like, okay, great. Do you have anything that can replace it with? Nope. Like, so what's the point? Like, anyway, it's fixed. I got my monitor back. She's working. Um, but yeah, other than that, like nothing much has changed. The TV shows changed from season to season. But everything's still, yeah.
yeah. You know what I love?
But I do have an update for the viewers, for the listeners.
Go ahead, man.
I did get
It's your
the shot.
show, baby. It's your show. Go ahead.
I did get the shot.
Yes, he
Yeah.
got
So
the
last
shot.
time we
He got
talked
shot
about,
one.
yeah, the I Am Legend story with the thing, but I did get the shot. Not that I was against it. I was just, what's the word? Cautious.
Yeah,
Cautious.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I love? I did I did an intro for that episode, and I talked about how passionate you were and all of those good things. And you came out episode 2 just firing shots. I love it. Wow. It's fantastic. So the setup's pretty much the same. You've got all your monitors back. You're good. What about the snacks? Have the snacks changed in the last 6 months?
Not much. I'm still dieting. It's more maintenance diet now than actually trying to lose weight. So I still do have like the same snacks. Maybe a little bit less, maybe
Rice
a little bit
cakes?
more. Yeah, it goes up and down. But I'm still like every once in a while, like I'll treat myself to like a bag of chips from the convenience store. I still manage to once in a while pick up some Ferrero Rochers,
Yeah.
and nibble on those every once in a while. Whenever I might pop one in during the show, we'll see. I love my peanut butter, man. Like, anything with peanuts, I
Yeah.
love.
Have you ever had a payday?
No, what's a payday?
Okay, so
Is it a chocolate bar?
no,
Oh,
they do make a chocolate bar as well.
I thought it was a chocolate bar. Yeah.
Payday is caramel in the
Okay.
middle and then coated in salty, crunchy peanuts. That's
Okay.
it. Those are the two things. They also make one covered in chocolate. I think I get them from a website that I'm not sure I'm going to shout out on the show.
Yeah, not for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You want us to shout you out? Sponsorship deal, bro.
it's an amazing website, by the way. And you can get all the candy you want from these people from all over the world. And
Right.
Payday, I think, is mostly in the States. Payday is my favorite piece of candy. It's delicious. And I think you'd love it.
Can you get any type of snacks on there?
So
Like, can I get chips from there?
yes.
Now, the reason why I ask
yeah.
is because, and if any of the listeners or viewers know about this or find it, let me know. I am looking for en gratin chips, en gratin. Okay. The cheesy the cheese I think Lay's or Ruffles makes them. I think
Okay.
Ruffles. They don't sell them here. I don't see them anywhere.
Wait.
Like the big bag of chips.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see those things anywhere because the last time that I saw them was at Terrell's, our friend Terrell's bachelor. We went to Montreal, and obviously they had en gratin in Montreal, and I wanted to stock up because they're the best.
Well, I think Ruffles is Canadian, right?
Yes.
So
I don't know if they have a Canadian arm to the American. I don't know.
I always thought Ruffles, anyway, I thought Ruffles was Canadian. They do sell a lot of Canadian stuff. It is a Canadian website. But they, I don't think they sell, like, that sounds like a French chip. Like, that sounds
It
like
is,
something
but every once in a while, I'll hear people be like, yeah, I saw that at Best Buy, or not Best Buy, Walmart or whatever. And I'm like, where? It's the same with the vanilla Coke. I can't find vanilla Coke anywhere. At least not in Scarborough.
Yeah.
um, but like some of my coworkers are like, yeah, I see you in the supermarket all the time, and I'm like, are you sure?
Well,
I've had to import it from my American friends. I had an
yes,
American friend driving across the border. I'm like, yo, pick up 2 2 4s of vanilla
vanilla
Coke, and
Coke.
I will pay you.
Listen, how long does 2 2 4s of vanilla Coke last you?
I mean, now probably a couple years, but
Yeah,
yeah, I could probably go through them pretty
been,
fast.
been there many decades ago. Been there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so those are the chips you're trying to get a hold of. Au gratin
Yes. En gratin. AU space GRATIN with the
by
little
Ruffles.
yeah.
So
Accent
people,
aigu.
if you know where to get these chips, get
Yes,
a hold of
please.
me or him.
Please.
My boy
If you
needs them.
see him in a grocery store, you let me know. I will drive there.
Okay. I do promise if I see him, I will pick up
Okay.
bags and bags for you
Okay.
for sure. For sure.
Okay. Okay.
Any other snacks that are in the rotation?
No, those are all
That's it.
vanilla Coke and en gratin are the
The
white
wants.
whales
Those
of
are the wants. Yeah.
the snack wants. Yeah.
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 Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had to do this episode today because some TV popped into my rotation out of nowhere. You found out that I was
Because of
watching
me.
it. No, well,
Oh.
sort of.
Yeah.
A friend, a really good friend, just sent me a text out of nowhere, and she was like, "The Falcon and the Winter Soldier
Oh, okay. Okay.
was so good." And we talk about TV kind of in passing, so I knew it was always on my radar, and I was like, I need to watch this at some point because I watch all the Marvel stuff. I'm not as fanatical as you are, but I was like, I got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. It was really
Mm-hmm.
really good. There was a lot of good stuff. Let's ease into it. What do you have major likes or dislikes that you can think of off the top of your mind to get us started?
About the show?
Yeah.
No dislikes.
No dislikes whatsoever.
No
Okay,
dislikes.
Good.
I was expecting it to be something, and it was something completely different.
Mhm.
I feel like Marvel, as of late, has changed up their formula, and because now they're in the TV game. Like before, they weren't. I wonder if it's because of COVID, but now that they're in the TV game, their stuff is different.
Mhm.
They tackle a lot of like social issues, and it's not the same storytelling that they used to do before. I feel like it's less comic booky and more pulp culture-y,
Mm.
especially lately. But yeah, no, I love that show. It was a good switch from like what Vision was. I don't know if you watched WandaVision. That's
I
another show I would recommend because it's so different from anything they've ever done.
Yeah.
Both of these shows are like completely different from anything they've ever done before, and even in comparison to each other, it's like completely different from each other.
Mhm.
So yeah, like yeah, I went in expecting something and I got something like completely different.
Those two are the first two shows that they've
Yeah,
done, right?
yeah,
WandaVision, Falcon,
yeah,
and the Winter Soldier.
yeah. And Loki's next, and I'm I'm assuming it's going to be different as well because
Yeah.
it's yeah.
The WandaVision, it could be a time and place thing for me. Like I started it and I only got through maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Mm.
And I was
Oh,
just like,
let me warn you, and if any of the listeners agree, the first 3 episodes are
they,
awful.
they drag, yeah.
They drag. They could have shrunk those three into one,
Mhm.
easily. It wasn't until the fourth episode that things started to heat up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just I remember watching the first 3 episodes. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, what is
Yeah.
this? And then yeah, and then when you start realizing that like this is different from what they've done before, then you're like, oh, okay, well, let's see where this goes. And
Mhm.
WandaVision ended up being such a great show, especially at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't stop it forever. I was just like, this isn't what I want to be watching
Mm.
on this day. I'll get back to it.
Mhm.
Plus the actors are strong. And I talk about loving Catherine Hahn. I think she's the neighbor or
She's
something
great.
like
Yeah,
that.
she's
And
great.
she's great in everything. So
Yeah.
I would get back to it just for her alone.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the mind state to do it that day. But when I started, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was interesting to me because I've talked about how they're developing these shows with the first 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to give you wild, crazy action so you stay and watch the show. And it's like, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You didn't really, we know what kind of action you're going to give us. But they did it anyway. And they start with the Falcon chasing down this plane. George St. Pierre's on the plane.
St. Pierre's back.
They have an amazing fight.
Yeah.
It was a really good beginning.
He jumped out with no parachute. Like, what the fuck?
Wild. Just wild. But then they waste no time getting in to social stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they waste no time.
No time.
I imagine there will be some spoilers on this episode, maybe some mild spoilers, and you correct me wherever I'm wrong, because I'm sure I will be wrong on things. Towards the end of Endgame, I believe, Captain America hands his shield over to the Falcon.
Yes.
And I know when I saw it, I immediately thought, what are they going to do with this black man and Captain America's shield?
Right.
Because
I didn't see it like that.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
Funny that, and this is what I like about this show, because it started getting me thinking more about the perspective of a black man, right? Of like what they go through. And I never thought of that stuff before, and Marvel really made me think about that. Like, oh, I never see what, like, it's not to interrupt you, but like, when I saw Endgame and Cap gave him the shield, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, what's the actor? What's his name?
Anthony Mackie?
No, the Captain America.
I always mix him up with other people.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Yes.
Yeah. He wanted out. Like, he's been doing these forever. Like, him and Tony wanted out. I knew this. Like, they were gonna die or something. Some way they were gonna show them the way out. Like, they had put in their due. So I was expecting him to leave, and I know from the comics that Falcon is the next, or one of the next Captain America. So when he gave him a shield, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down with this. Like, I think it's time to, pass it on, and why not give it to him, because he's technically next in line. By the way, spoiler alert, Winter Soldier is also Captain America later on down the road. But in the comics. Yeah. So like, I figured like one of the two is gonna get it, and I'm glad that they give it to Thing. But I didn't think anything of like how what are they gonna do? I was just like thinking like, oh, he's just gonna put the suit. He's gonna put the suit on, and he's gonna go fight crime. Like, hey, no problem. But then they start off with the first episode, and I'm like, oh wait, there's a lot that goes with being a black man and holding the shield, and then
shield or flag. Yeah.
They ended up just tackling that issue, and it was great. Like,
I was born in Canada. The trials and tribulations of a black man in America, I wouldn't even assume I understand, but I did definitely understand that this was going to be something they were going to have to deal with. Because I don't think en masse people would just be like, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Captain America suddenly being a black man, either black people or white people. I knew there was going to be something. And I saw Anthony Mackie on The Daily Show, and he was talking about how him and the creators and writers said, if we're going to do it, we got to lean all the way into it. We got to lean into all of the racial injustice and social aspects to what this is. And they leaned all the way in.
Yeah.
They went and found a mild spoiler. They went and found essentially the first super human, I guess you'd call that guy. I'm not sure.
No, I wouldn't. No, he's not the first super no, what do they call it?
I'm not sure.
Soups.
Yeah,
no,
that works. I mean, that's the boys, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. He's Captain America was the first, but when he went into the ice and went missing,
Yeah.
they needed someone to replace him. So
Right.
that's how the next guy got involved.
Right.
What was his name? Bradley.
Oh yeah, yeah. Isaiah.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
He becomes the next Captain America in like the mid 50s or something like that,
Yeah.
after the war.
Yeah.
And they keep it quiet. They don't let anybody know. And
yeah, and
That's Bradley's story over the season is interesting. Yeah.
And he's a strong actor. They
Yeah.
gave him a monologue towards like episode 5 or 6, and you can't take your eyes off the screen.
Right.
But yeah, they take that, they discuss the parallels between what he had to do and the real military men that fought for the United States, went overseas, came back, and just dealt with more racism once they came back to their homeland.
Right.
And they deal with those parallels with him. I'm not sure we're entirely smart enough to really dig into these issues, but I appreciated it. I thought they handled it pretty well. I wasn't uncomfortable with it. I'm glad they addressed it. You reached out to me when you found out I finished watching it, and you were like, I loved it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it had to happen. I don't think they could move the story along and just pretend that it wasn't something that they had to talk about.
I remember watching it and then being like, I don't know if it was the first or second episode. I think it ended, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah." When he decides he doesn't
there.
He decides he doesn't want the shield.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, Marvel's going here with this." Like, I didn't know where. I thought maybe they were gonna like brush the line, get close to it, but not. They went right over it.
Yes. Yeah.
It was good to watch. Yeah, I liked it, especially the end when he finally becomes the Captain America, and he's having that conversation with the reporters in front of the cameras, and I was like, oh, that was such a great speech. Great speech.
I'm sure there's half the audience that has watched it that will completely disagree with you.
Oh yeah,
because that's what happens when you take these risks, right?
Yeah,
with these shows.
I'm glad that they didn't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We're telling this story.
Yeah, we're telling this story. If you don't like it, then you can leave. But this train left.
Well, I mean, you brought up the ending. The thing is, and this isn't really about the social aspects, but his new suit. Okay, one, and I'm assuming you might know, is his new suit and wings made out of unobtainium?
It's not unobtainium, but it's no, I don't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It is, right?
Yeah, because
what is it called?
Made it. What's that stuff called?
It's okay if you don't remember.
Vibranium.
Vibranium.
Yeah, vibranium.
Did I make unobtainium in my head?
It should be called unobtainium. That's Avatar.
I'm silly. My apologies.
That's Avatar. No, it should be called that. Like, it should be the material that's really hard to obtain.
Exactly, right? But his new mask it's not good. It's not good.
His new mask?
Yeah, like the helmet head mask situation they put on, and with the glasses, it's bad.
Really?
Awful.
I'm looking at it now. He's got goggles. What do you mean? He's got goggles.
Horrendous.
No. What?
Not
I'm looking at it now.
Good.
No. I mean, it's the outfit that he wears in the comics when he becomes Captain America.
Outfit's fine. Everything from the neck down, I'm on board. That headpiece situation, disaster.
See, if you were to see the comic version, you'd be like, oh, okay. Well,
so you think because you already knew it was going to look like dog shit, you're like, this is what they envisioned way back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
That's fair.
But I thought the fake Captain America looked kind of weird.
Yeah,
like his outfit and stuff.
That's the other piece. So when the Falcon says, "I don't want the shield," the government of the United States decides we need a Captain America, and they find this dude who's
Give it
in
to
the
a white
military.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gave it to a blonde-haired, I think blue-eyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt
Um,
Russell's son,
oh, he's
by the
Kurt
way.
Russell's
Yeah,
son.
I didn't know that until after the season.
Okay. He was
That's his son. Yeah.
his acting was good. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, you hate
he's
him.
yes.
If you hate him, then he's done a good job.
Yeah, exactly. So he was very interesting. It's kind of obvious that this guy gets all of this power and is not really sure how he should wield it.
Mhm.
And the
And
scene
he kills a guy right after he gets the powers.
dude. So
Like,
this is going to be a spoiler heavy episode.
yes.
He gets those powers and they give you a scene towards the end of that episode of the shield. Unlike any scene, maybe unless you read the comics, that you would ever envision you would see of Captain America's shield.
Mhm.
And maybe let's not talk about what it is exactly, but it's like
Mhm.
real jaw-dropping.
Like if Steve
image.
Jobs were to see what happened to the shield, he'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? I gave you the shield. What happened here?"
Wait, Steve Jobs? Oh, you mean Steve
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I was like, what does Apple have to do with this?
Did I say Steve
Rogers.
Jobs?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Steve Rogers. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he
Yeah,
would.
because they also talk about him in that show like he's dead. So I don't really know what the deal with Captain America, like Steve Rogers. But yeah, I always assumed that if you ever turn on a TV and you saw what happened, you'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck, man?"
And yeah, chaos.
Yeah.
And then the other portion of like brand new people they bring into the show or to our universe is Carly.
Yes.
The leader
the super
of
freckly girl. Yes.
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 And I've never seen her before.
No, I've never seen her before.
I could stare at her forever. It was like as soon as she came on the screen, I'm like, what else does this person do? I want to watch all of it.
Mhm.
But her character was really interesting because she runs, I don't know if you'd call it the resistance, but half of the planet's population disappears. If you're not really a Marvel person, some of this might go over your head, but half of
they're basically all lives matters. Right?
No,
Yeah.
these are the things, right? Because it's like half of the world's population disappears and then
5 years later everyone comes back.
Magic comic book stuff.
Yeah.
They reappear.
Right.
And the world has moved on and has started living with half the population gone. And they're feeling good.
Yeah.
The environment's probably cleaner.
Thriving.
There's more money.
Yeah.
You probably you could rent a spot in New York for real cheap or Toronto. You could do these things. And these people come back.
This $1 million condo is empty now. Like, I'm gonna move in here.
Right.
But and then one day the guy comes back and he's like, "This is my place, bro." Like, this is awkward.
Yeah. So the people that come back, I mean, they don't have as much. They don't have as much opportunity. I mean, the argument could be made that they're quote unquote Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Right. But the people that have been around are saying, nah, this is our stuff now. And it's going to stay our stuff. And you guys should basically be banished or live in these camps that we set up. It's a very complex tale that they're trying to tell. And it's weird to say about a comic book thing, but it's like everybody should kind of see this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you should kind of see these stories that they're trying to tell, whether you agree with these things or not. It's like, just let your mind open up a little bit and take in some of these stories. But she was fabulous. Just amazing. Then you've got Bucky.
He was the best. I love him.
I
love Bucky.
I declared him the best superhero we have on TV and screen right now.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
There
could be people I'm forgetting. And I could
he's up there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like I could be a prisoner of the moment right now because I just watched it. I haven't been watching any other comic stuff, but as a superhero, amazing. Action scenes. Are there better action scenes anybody else is creating right now?
No.
Like superhero wise? He's the best.
Yeah.
And then you've got his story where he was essentially
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
he was a
Turned
bad
good guy
guy,
turned bad, and bad turned good.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
And now they're rehabbing him.
yeah.
They've pardoned him. He's going through therapy. His therapist is delightful. Like
Yeah.
that woman's great. But you get to
I,
go on
I
this journey with him too, right?
I also like all the little tidbits that they throw in. Like Marvel and Disney are the masters of sprinkling little tidbits
Mhm.
over everything. So the one thing with him was when Steve Rogers and Falcon met, the thing that bonded them was that they both served, and there's like one scene where like they go home and they can't sleep on their bed because it's like sleeping on a cloud,
Mm.
so they sleep on the ground,
I
and
remember that.
that's how they bonded. And there was that one scene where um, when a soldier wakes up and he's on the ground. He's got like a thing over him, like he can't sleep on a bed, just like the other two.
Yeah.
And it's just little tidbits like oh yeah, that's from that conversation in that movie. And
Yeah.
like they're so good at little things like that. And then at the end, he sleeps on the couch and he can finally sleep.
Hmm.
Like he has a full night's sleep, and so now you like, oh, so he's getting better, and
Yeah. He's
he's
mended a lot of
he's
his
yeah,
demons and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So little things like that with this character, I like.
And they make him a person. Like
Yeah,
they give him a love interest.
yeah.
And I don't know about you, but like that relationship, I'm like dying for that relationship. Like, give us more of that.
Are you dying because you want him to stick it to to Falcon,
No,
or
no, no.
you want
Oh,
to see him
see, we're
happy?
thinking about different things. No, okay. So he, if you haven't seen it, he flirts with the Falcon sister.
Right.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking
Oh,
about the girl at the restaurant.
oh, the Asian girl.
Yes, at the
Yes, yes,
restaurant.
yes, yes,
That's
yes.
the relationship I want. Like the other one, the Falcon
And he.
sister is fun. It's cute,
So
whatever.
is that what that last scene was with him, where he walks by the restaurant and he sees his old friend with the
I
daughter, and he's like, I can't go in there.
Well, I don't think that's not that man's daughter. I think she just works there. They're tight
Oh,
because he sees her all the time. But
oh,
he
okay.
goes by because he's kind of mended up another storyline with the old man, and he just dropped in to see both of them.
Yeah.
And but him and the girl in the restaurant had a little date. I thought the chemistry was fire. I
Mhm.
was like, give us more of them at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Like develop a Winter Soldier story, even though Falcon
Maybe
and the
we'll
Winter
see
Soldier
that
are
next
great.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was real good. But it's like watching him go through therapy was great. Watching the two of them, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, go through therapy. It was just a great rehabilitation of this bad guy that they had running for so long,
Yeah.
and made him super likable. Like just really, really likable. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I like Sebastian Stan. He's a good actor.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
other
hope he becomes um Luke Skywalker. That's like the big
oh,
push right now.
that's one of the rumors.
Yeah. Well, no, fan made rumor
Yeah,
that like the fans want him to play young Skywalker, young Luke,
that would
because
be.
he looks just like him. Like it's really weird. Like how
Wait,
do
wait.
these two people look identical?
You're talking about that Christian guy, the guy that stepped in as Anakin for a while.
No, no, to play Mark Hamill, to
Oh,
play
to play. You think he looks
yeah,
exactly like a young Mark
yeah,
Hamill? Okay,
yeah,
I'll have a look.
yeah,
I'll have a look.
yeah. It's crazy how he looks like young Hamill in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the other link I was gonna make, and I don't think I talked to you about this, but the other link with Marvel, and now there's a Black Captain America, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Hmm.
When I saw that, and if you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it's maybe one of
This
the
is such a great movie.
top 5 animated movies you're ever gonna see. I was lucky enough to.
I hate. Okay, you triggered me.
Uh oh.
I hate it when people say, Oh, it's good for an animated
Oh, no,
movie.
that's not what I'm saying.
No, I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
like
I got you.
yeah, like that animated line like is so blurred for me now. Like
Yeah.
I don't, it doesn't matter anymore to me. Like I used to in the past, but like just because something's animated doesn't make it like less. And what bugs me about that movie is it wasn't considered for an Oscar
Oscar.
that for Best Picture
Right.
because it was animated. So they nominated for the animated and it won, obviously.
Yeah.
But I bet you if they would have let it into the Best Picture, like it might have won. Like I think it may have won.
The thing about the Oscars is who cares?
Nah, I know,
Yeah,
I know, I
you know
know.
what I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
for conversation, right?
yeah,
Who cares, right? Because they also don't let comedies win Best
right,
Picture,
right.
right? So it's like
They
whatever.
also weren't nominating black people for the longest time.
And there's
Yeah,
that too. Exactly.
yeah,
See
yeah,
all of these things.
yeah.
But like I just say best animated because like I think if you go back into time and someone looks at the things Pixar did when they decided to join the scene, like some of those things are probably so great because of when they did it and how they like there was never this before. And then they said, look at this.
Mhm.
Right. So it might not be able to unseat them. For me, it's one of the better movies I've ever seen, period.
Mhm.
But like in the animated space, it's got to be high. And I was lucky enough to see it in theater with the 3D glasses on and everything. The
Mhm.
3D experience, like if it ever goes back into a theater, watch it there because it was amazing. But they made Spider-Man black. So they took Spider-Man and made Spider-Man a black Hispanic kid. And I thought that this was what, 3 years ago now?
Yes.
About
Yeah. Yeah.
three, maybe four. And like I thought the timing of that was amazing then.
Mhm.
Because it was like they told all these young kids anybody could be Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And Marvel's just out here making big leaps, man. Big leaps.
I for the longest time thought that is my mic good?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought for the longest time that they were never gonna do Miles Morales because he was black. I was like, there's no way. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way. But for the longest time, I've been saying like Peter Parker needs to go. I love Peter Parker. Don't get me wrong, but like it's time. Like he's had he's on his seventh movie, right? With his one character, and it's like, come on, like I
And
think
like
it's
four
time.
different actors, four or
Yeah,
five
like
different actors.
it's time. Like it's time to like, make another. You know, like there's another Captain America. There's, you know, like there'll be another Iron Man. There'll be another Thor. Like there'll always there's always more. So I was always like, yeah, let's get Miles Morales here. I was always a big fan of Miles Morales because I always thought he was a better version of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's funnier, he's a black kid, like he was poor and like he's the best. I think Miles Morales is the best Spider-Man personally. But I just never thought they were gonna do it. And then I heard about them doing Into the Spider-Verse. So I was like, holy shit, it's happening. Um, but they still haven't done him in real life.
Right.
And so like that's what I'm waiting for. Um, but I think it's time, man. Like, yeah, it's time. No more. Yeah,
I
less
wonder.
white people, please.
I wonder. There's probably so many young dudes that they could get to play that too.
So the fandom was pushing for the longest time, and now I think it's too late now because he's gotten older. Childish Gambino.
Yeah, that can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
He was in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and
As what? What?
he played Miles's uncle.
Oh.
And there was that. No, it wasn't Amazing Spider-Man. It was the first one with the new guy.
Tom
Homecoming.
Holland.
Homecoming was it? I think it was called
I don't.
Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming. He this was when he didn't have the suit and he had that like makeshift outfit that he had on, and there was like some like gun deal going on in a parking lot, and the guy selling the guns was Miles's uncle.
Gotcha.
And I was like, holy shit. So like they got close to getting Donald Glover to play Miles, but
Mhm.
I think he's too old now to
Yeah, definitely.
play.
And
Yeah.
I can't think of a person probably less interested in getting involved in superhero movies
Yeah, yeah.
than what we know about Childish
He
Gambino.
was really interested in a while. I think he was the front runner for pushing the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I don't think Into the Spider-Verse would have happened if it wasn't for Donald Glover. I think
Wow.
he really did push the envelope.
Helped produce it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you bring up all of the Peter Parker versions of Spider-Man. I have watched, I think, one of the Spider-Man movies.
Mm.
Just like they keep throwing different actors, different
Which one?
stories. It was probably the first one.
Homecoming or Tobey Maguire?
I feel like it was Tobey Maguire.
Okay, so it's the
What's her
first
name?
Spider-Man.
Kirsten Dunst. I
Yeah,
think
that was the first Spider-Man.
Mary
Yeah,
or what?
yeah, yeah.
I'm
That was
just
that's what started the whole superhero genre.
yeah.
Like, without Spider-Man 1, I don't think we would have Marvel right now.
And
A
that's
lot of people will disagree with me. The co-host on the other podcast that I'm on, he thinks it's because of Blade. Blade is what started the
Blade started the Marvel's universe.
No. He doesn't. No. He thinks that Iron Man was the first that started it. I think it was Spider-Man, but anyway. Some people might write in and be like, "Yeah, he's wrong about this."
Yeah, Spider-Man never really did it for me, and then Into the Spider-Verse showed up, and I was like, "More of these, please."
I have such a huge connection with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I used to do a lot of
good.
traveling with my family. We used to go all over the world, and we were in Peru once. This is like one of my youngest memories I have in my head. And I guess maybe that's why I like Spider-Man to a degree, is because we were in Peru and there was like a circus thing that my parents took me to, and I'm like 3 years old, maybe, like like I'm super young. They take me to the circus thing, and they have like the circus event happening, elephants and clowns and people flipping around and juggling, but they also had like this King Kong thing set up in the back, and like at one point like King Kong came out and like he looked like he was gonna kill everybody and destroy everything, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, holy shit, like because I'm 3, like I don't know any better, right? I can't tell like, this is a robot or whatever. And then out comes Spider-Man, and this guy is swinging across the whole fucking the whole place, and like ever since then I was like, yo, Spider-Man's the best. Like it's such a real memory to me. Like even to this day, like I still think it's real because I didn't know any better at the time, right?
Yeah.
So like, so because of that, like I've always had this thing with Spider-Man.
So hold on a second. That is a great story. First of all, they had a man swinging through the rafters.
Yes.
In Peru.
Yeah.
When
we're talking like imagine the Sky Dome, and King Kong is the size of like where the hotel is, right? Like he takes up that whole side of the building.
Yeah.
Right. And he's got arms and shoulders and he's like stomping stuff. And this guy's swinging across
oh my God.
Sky Dome from like edge to edge, dodging this huge monkey. And yeah, I was like, how the fuck are they doing that? Like, it was so crazy.
Sounds so dangerous.
So dangerous.
Given how long ago it was.
So dangerous.
And where it was.
Yeah.
Your crazy. Memory could have gone a very different way about Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. He could have fallen and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about what Marvel's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing. So a pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Your child, you just brought up your childhood. My childhood included the Mighty Ducks. Okay. I love the Mighty Ducks. I feel like somehow I don't remember the order, like the chronological order of how these things happened, but I was a Dawson's Creek kid.
Right.
I loved all of the Dawson's Creek.
Right.
I learned I was kind of nerdy about television, so it's like if I heard a word on TV I didn't understand, I'd look it up. And I spent a lot of time looking up words while I was watching Dawson's Creek because they just like, these are going to be smart teenagers. So this is what you got to deal with, right? So Pacey, I can't remember his real name his real life name. But anyway, Pacey from Dawson's Creek is in Mighty Ducks. If it hits you, spit it out, but it's okay if it doesn't. So he's in Mighty Ducks. It's all amazing.
The main guy.
Not the main guy, the second guy from Dawson's Creek. Not Dawson.
He's in it too?
Dawson's not in it. Pacey's in Mighty Ducks.
Oh, the main guy. Yeah, the main guy.
He's Charlie Conway.
Yeah. Charlie. For some reason, I thought Charlie was the main guy. But okay, yeah. Yeah.
So Mighty Ducks is amazing. You've got Emilio Estevez in it. He's what he is. The movie is corny. They made like 5 of them, I think. I watched 3 of them. The first 3 had like the main cast, but I think
there was 2 others. No, I don't think so.
They did more spinoffs, man. I'm not positive.
I don't think so. I think I would have known.
Check it out. Because you would have watched all of them.
Yeah, I would have watched them. I fucking love Mighty Ducks.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I watched the first 2.
There's 3.
Okay, so fair.
Okay.
But you tell me, I don't know, like 4 days ago, you tell me there's a new Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
And I go,
TV show.
Yeah, TV show. And I go,
your words were exact. A movie? I'm like, no, a TV show.
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks Gamechangers.
Gamechangers. Yeah.
And I go, okay, that's weird. I don't know if we need that.
Yeah, right.
But they're remaking everything, right?
Yeah.
So I had the day off. I had some errands to run. I get back home. It's like 1:00. It's raining outside. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna dig into some of these shows Roger and I are gonna talk about.
Yeah. I
turn on the Mighty Ducks Gamechangers, and I'm in love.
Okay. I was worried there for a minute. It brings back all the same feelings that the other movies brought. Yeah.
Forget the feelings. Forget what you know about the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Before this, okay? This show by itself, standalone show, is fabulous.
Yeah.
It I can't I'm watching the show thinking I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning that when I know something exists and I don't want to watch it because I feel like I heard it was available in passing and I was like, I'm not watching that show. 1, it's for kids. 2, it's like another spinoff. They don't do these spinoffs and sequels very well in a way you want to watch them. 3, why? Why did you do this? Right? Who's going to be in it? What's the story? Like, who cares about any of this? Right? And what I learned is just check the thing out. Just check the thing out, see what it is, because it was amazing, dude.
Did you finish the whole season?
I finished this morning.
Oh, did you really?
Okay, that's the thing. I watched all of the episodes inside of 11 hours.
It's good that it's only half an hour. It's half an hour, right?
The first episode's almost an hour. Everything else is about a half hour.
Yeah.
Dude.
So good.
Dude, like
the best is when the old team came back in that one episode. Not to give away spoilers or anything, but at one point the old cast shows
parts
up.
of the old cast come.
Yeah.
And
I was like, holy shit, these guys grew up.
they give you Easter eggs from when they first arrived back in the 90s or whatever. The thing about the show, there's so many things about the show. One thing about the show is all of the like touching emotional moments that could be really corny. 95% of them are perfect. The tone's perfect. You're like, they're helping people get in touch with their emotions. It's also good. It's like the sweet moments aren't so sweet. You're like, this is garbage. It's so good.
The characters and the actors are all really good too. Like I thought that maybe the kids were gonna be like
iffy.
Like some of them would be shitty, but like I like all of them. All the kids are really good.
Oh my God. The kids are amazing. Okay, so I was a drama student pretty much all through high school. And they would take us I'm explaining these kids. The drama class would take us to Young People's Theater in Toronto, downtown Toronto, and the Young People's Theater was this place where these kids would go, they'd rehearse, they'd put on shows, and some of the kids were so good. You're like 10, 12, 14, whatever it is, watching whatever play they're putting on, and you're like, I could never do that. And you just can't believe how good these kids are at acting. And it's like every single kid on this show is amazing and believable and funny and smart and witty and like great physical actors. One kid can sing his tail off. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they sell these kids, they tell you they're all between 12 and 14 years old. And typically in film, you've got 12-year-olds being played by 18-year-olds. You've got 18-year-olds being played by 30-year-olds. I didn't check to see how old these kids actually are.
Yeah, I have no idea either. Yeah.
Right? But they, on one point, read 12 to 14. But they seem to be more mature than 12 to 14.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they do that by setting it up, like they set them up as young kids at the beginning of the season, and they've set it up so that you believe they're 12 at the beginning, and then they can do whatever they want with them as the series goes on, so they can give them more dialogue or different dialogue as it goes. I don't know, man. It was just so, like, I'm so happy you brought it into my life.
I'm kind of like, I was kind of bummed when I found out that yesterday's episode was the last for the season 1, because I was like, man, these shows, like, I connect with certain ones, and like I connected with that one. Like, I like every Friday I would like at night I go get pizza. I get a couple of slices of pizza. I come back and I sit and I watch game, and I always have that memory of, like, same with Star Wars Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite shows, and I also have it. I'm connected with it because, like, I used to treat myself, get pizza, sit down, and enjoy it, and like I always had a great time, like, every week.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of bummed, like, it's gone, and I'm like, shit, what am I gonna watch now?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain shows that are like that with me. Like Stranger Things is like that with me too. Cobra Kai, like any of these like nostalgic shows, like I really like. I don't know why. Like Cobra Kai kind of reminds me of Mighty Ducks. I have a feeling that Mighty Ducks happened because of Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Like, I think it's the same thing. Like, old school movies, they hadn't done anything with a while, and then they come up with an interesting story to bring it back, and then I kind of feel like, I don't know if you've seen Cobra Kai, but it's like it's kind of the same thing almost.
Really?
Yeah, like an old IP that they bring back and rejuvenate it, and you're so connected with it. You see, like, nostalgic. You see, like, little, they throw in little tidbits from the movies and stuff in there. It's like, oh shit, I remember this. And yeah, I don't know. I like that stuff.
Yeah. Did you have a big connection to Karate Kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked all the movies. I met him. I don't know if I ever told this story before anywhere, but I met him when I was a kid. I was in Hawaii again when my family used to travel a lot. We were in this like fancy resort, kind of one where, like, it's a lot of people don't go to.
Yeah.
So it's not like a standard hotel. It's like everyone has instead of everyone having a room in a building, it's like everyone has a hut, and it's spread out throughout this property.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were in the dinner pavilion having dinner. I was like 10, maybe. I don't know. I was young, and he was there. And my dad, like, took me over to his table and was like, "Hi, sir. Nice to meet you. My son's a big fan of yours. He just wanted to meet you."
Who recognized him first? You or your dad?
Both, maybe. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. But Ralph chewed me out. I was like a little kid, and he was really upset that we had bugged him. Him and his wife, I guess, or girlfriend, whatever. And he was like, Yeah, he was pissed. And my dad was like, dude, he's just a little kid. He just wants to say hi to you. What's wrong with you? And yeah, he was like such a dick. He was such a dick to me, man. Anyway,
And you remember that vividly.
yeah. I don't get too many interactions with celebrities, and yeah, that was one of them. And he was a dick, and yeah. So that's my Karate Kid story. It didn't ruin it for me, like Karate Kid, but yeah, every time I see him, I'm like, you're an asshole. He might be a different guy now too. Like you gotta realize that like at the time he was the most popular person in the world, like the most
Hold on.
famous.
So when you saw him, was like he had already done them?
Yeah, I think maybe the first one or second one had come out,
So he
maybe.
was pretty young still.
Yeah, he was super young. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was yeah, he must have been in his late 20s or early 30s, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
he's not that young. Because when he filmed that, he was like a
He's like
teenager, right?
he's like 50 now, I think.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I was assumed that he was in his late 20s when we saw him there. I
So
think.
because I think he had to be a teenager when he filmed at least the first
Yeah,
one,
like
right?
18, 19 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a decade of being tired of people coming up to him talking about the
Yeah.
Karate Kid, and you got a bad end of that.
He was 22 when they filmed the first Karate Kid in 84.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah, so he was born in 72?
Never mind then.
No, 62. Anyway.
Ralph Macchio was just a dick to you that day.
Yeah.
There was no tired of it, really. It was just like, I'm eating.
I think he thought that where we were at, he wasn't going to run into anybody.
Right.
Or no one would have like bugged him in the kind of place that we were at.
Not your dad.
So he was pissed. He's like, fuck, man, I spent all this money to be here and I'm still getting these fans. Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to Gamechangers.
Yeah. So it does have all of the like obvious family tropes, like the parents are awful. One of the parents,
the kid's dad's not in his life.
Not in his life. One of the parents works for some terrible corporation that treats people like garbage.
Right.
This isn't even a spoiler. The end of the show or movie, either they're going to win and it's improbable, or they're going to finish second. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But like the kids were so funny. Like that little kid, Nick.
The podcast kid?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that guy. I'm like, so how hilarious. Are you like this at that age? Like,
yes.
Yeah, he's so good.
55 years old in a 12-year-old's body.
Yeah. So
acting
good.
His tail off, man.
So good.
There was a sign. There was a line. I don't know if you'll remember it, but there was a line where his phone was in some other kid's hand. And the kid's like, it's your mom's. Should I pick up? And I said mom's because Nick has two moms.
Right.
And they're great. His moms are great. Yeah. And the kid's like, should I pick it up? And he goes, only if you want a polite and encouraging conversation.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so hard. Listen, the people come to this show to find out what shows they should watch.
Yeah.
You should watch this show. I would stake any sort of mini reputation I have. Watch the show.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
there was a
good-hearted show, and
there was an episode in the show. I was crying, laughing.
Really,
just tears streaming out of my face. I think it was the episode where Evan has the decision to make. Like the star player on the team has a decision to make.
Yeah,
and his team is irate that he made that even put himself in that position.
Yeah.
And there's some situation, I think it might have been when his mom is like, it's been days, Evan, they can't still be mad at you.
Yeah. And then they walk in and
they
like,
cut behind the door. They're pissed. They're super pissed. It was just such a good show.
Yeah.
Like such a good feel.
The storyline too was interesting.
Yeah.
With the Mighty Ducks becoming the bad guys and what's his name? Bombay leaving and Bombay's story.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all very
Dude, did you realize Emilio Estevez looks
exactly
exactly.
the same.
No.
Oh,
He looks exactly like Martin Sheen.
oh yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
looks like his dad.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I was like, yo, is Emilio Estevez 70? When did this happen? He
Yeah,
looks
they're getting old,
just like
man.
his dad. Yeah. Um, so much fun. The the kids, the storyline was great.
The ending
Uh,
was good too. I like the ending.
did you?
Yeah, I was
But
actually like crying in at the end,
really?
like not like sad crying, but like happy tears of joy, like especially at the end when the box he pulls out the box in the last period. You know what I'm talking about?
I just watched this. How can I not remember this?
At the end, they're losing 3-1, and Bombay
Oh
comes
yeah,
in. He
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
he
yes,
pulls
yes,
out the
yes, yes, yes,
box.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I was
yes,
like, oh, let's go!
yes.
Like I was like tears of joy. I'm like, yeah,
I wish. So look, I was in. I was in. I'm still in.
because they did that in the other movies, right? And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
like
got something. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I wish I could have gotten to that place with you. Like maybe I wasn't fully in because I was sort of thinking about doing this and
Mhm.
talking to you about it. Um, but yeah, it's so touching. I did feel that in other times throughout other episodes, like when they really had the kids sharing and opening up to one another,
Mhm.
and like even that wasn't corny. Like they did it all so well.
Mhm.
Um, I was gonna say something else about this, and I can't remember.
Like the goalie when his parents showed up to the game, like, oh man, like I love shit like that. I don't know. I like yeah, I love that stuff. It's a good
So
show.
good.
I I wish it was longer, and yeah, I wish I feel like TV shows nowadays are so short. So short,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they
There,
come out with another season soon.
there's something about being a full grown adult. Like there's still evolving and
Mhm.
things we need to do and learn and all of those things. But there's something about being a full grown adult and finding a television show made for children. This
Yeah.
show's 100, like in every show made for children, you put stuff in so their parents will enjoy it, right?
Hmm.
But there's something about watching a show fully made for children and loving it.
Hmm.
Like I loved it.
I'm like that with Clone Wars. Like I'm pretty sure that started off as a kid show. I don't think it's a kid show like anymore, but it started off like that, and yeah, I love that show. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
You're like,
Yeah,
you made this for everybody now because
yeah,
we're all finding it and
right,
it's tremendous.
right.
It was so good. I didn't love the ending. It was
No,
I could see the touching moments, but for me, it was just like it was the ending of the movie that you can predict,
yeah, yeah,
right? And for
yeah.
me, it was the whole episode was like that. It's like, oh,
Like you
this
knew they were gonna win at the end.
they were going to win or they were going to lose. But even
Yeah,
if they lost,
they
it was
won.
still going to be some sort of, oh, we won
Yeah,
really. It was a
yeah,
touching moment.
right.
They were like, they were going to get welcomed onto the other Ducks team.
Yeah,
And like, then there was going to be a kumbaya. Like there was going to
yeah,
be, it was
yeah.
going to be predictable. And it was,
I like
but
the route they took
yeah, yeah, it's
because
fine.
that was the one gripe about the show I didn't like was that the name of the team,
Yeah.
right? Like I was like, I hope they don't stick with this.
They worked in some jokes around it though
Yeah,
that
yeah,
made it
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Like even in other episodes.
yeah.
Even the last episode where it was like the what was it, the don't
Don't
exits or
bothers.
something,
Don't
no, but that
bothers.
something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was so good, man.
Anyway, if you want to watch a show, Disney Plus, Gamechangers, so good,
Gamechangers was
so good.
amazing. um you got some more time?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. uh i I've heard of a show.
Oh,
I heard of a show before you, and I'd seen it on in my house, and I was like, "What's that? I'm not gonna watch this
oh, I
show."
think I know where we're going with this.
Yeah, and The Circle,
Oh, okay,
Roger.
okay. Second there, I was like, are we going?
No, The Circle, Roger. So
What do you mean
the,
you heard about this show before me?
I've heard you. You
Like
weren't the
the
person that
UK version?
introduced. No, no.
because I didn't know about the UK version until after I watched the US.
Right. I think they probably aired it afterwards, but like,
yeah,
I had heard it existed. I'd seen it on my not my list, but like on my Netflix queue. And I'm a Big Brother person. You can put people in a house, put them in a house for Big Brother. And this show, and I have not gotten into it. I started it and immediately turned it off.
Okay.
It got less time than WandaVision.
Okay.
Okay. The host, Mary Buteau, or whatever her name is.
She's not a host.
You can take that up.
I've seen her once in 2 seasons of that show.
Okay, so she
and that was in the season finale of the 2nd season. Like, oh, this is the host? Like, what?
So whatever she is, she introduces the thing. I've seen her on some other things. I'm like, oh, this is a nice lady. She's funny. I like her.
Yeah.
And she starts describing what it is. And I'm like, where's the stop button? How do I get this? How do I get this off my TV as quickly as possible? You are into it.
Yes.
Why? Tell me.
I don't know. It's I think
this isn't a convert me. It's just just tell me what you like about it.
It's it reminds me of Big Brother. But like
blasphemy.
Like a
blasphemy.
Modern version of Big Brother, because I think Big Brother's old, right? Like Big Brother's 23-4 years old, right? Like the format pretty much hasn't changed much.
Unless it's Big Brother Canada. They go rogue all the time.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like it's like an updated version of Big Brother. It's what I said to you was it's COVID Big Brother. Like it's like social distance version of Big. So for the listeners and viewers, The Circle is a reality-based TV show with a certain number of contestants. I think it's 12 or something. They're all in one big apartment complex, and each of them lives in their own apartment, their own unit. So think a building, 12 units, 12 people in each of the units. They never see each other. They never interact with each other. The only time that they interact with each other is with this online Alexa styled interface. So everyone's got a TV. There's TVs everywhere in the whole apartment. And whenever it's time to do game stuff, the Alexa voice will come up on the screen. The way you can talk to people is be like, "Hey, Circle, it's a private message, Damien," and then they'll message Damien, and you both will text speech to each other. So that could be like, "Hey, Damien, how's your day going? Smiley emoji face, heart emoji face, fist bump emoji face," and enter, send, and then you get that message. And
did you include that fist bump because I'm black?
No, like I like fist bumping. Did I change the color of the fist? Is that what you mean? Like I don't.
Go on.
So yeah, so that's the premise of the show, and then every week they vote somebody out. The way they vote people out, instead of like 7 people voting for one person and that person leaves, they do like a ranking system, and whoever's at the bottom, whoever's at the top gets to choose who gets to leave. So every week, the person in first place is called the influencer, and I found a little weird, but again, it's modern, right? Like it's they influence the game. So yeah, they get to choose who gets to go home.
Sorry, hold on. How do they get ranked?
So everyone in the game puts everyone in order. So like this week I think Damien is my number 1. And then this Chloe girl is gonna be my number 2, and that Nelson guy, I fucking hate that Nelson guy. He's gonna go last, right? And then they average everybody out,
and that's just based on your feelings about.
Yeah, that's just your feelings, your interactions with them, and then the big sorry, I missed the big thing. The big thing about this show is because you don't get to see anybody, and you only do text communications with each other, you can pretend to be anyone you want. So you can catfish. So this season, famously, someone catfished Lance Bass, and they were actually Lance Bass's assistant. They were catfishing as Lance, and so they knew everything about him. So like for the longest time, people were like, "I think that's really fucking Lance Bass
on the Circle."
Right. And yeah, so you can catfish to be anyone. The person that won the season was a catfish pretending to be their significant other. So like, there's half the cast is a catfish, half is playing themselves. So I like that you can that adds another degree of strategy to the game that Big Brother doesn't have.
Pretending to be someone else.
Yeah, like what I found interesting about the Lance Bass thing is like it's all super ballsy to pretend to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna like really like is Lance really gonna come on the show?
Right.
But then at the same time, it's like, what if it actually is Lance?
Yeah. What if
like
he's
there's
a
no
super
way
fan?
of no way of actually knowing.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. Like, do people fanboy? Do people instantly smell a catfish? Like it adds so much to the game.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think it's different than Big Brother. It's like a updated version almost in a way.
To match the times.
Yes.
To match how people are interacting.
Yeah. Like with the whole instant messaging and the Alexas of the worlds, and I'm not talking to you. She like lights up like, what, me?
Huh? What do you want?
So yeah, I just think it's just modern in that sense. It's very popular.
I know.
Very popular.
I know.
So apparently there was 3 UK seasons. The UK season the show has now been canceled from what I understand, but the American version is going strong. They filmed 2 seasons back to back. So we should have a 3rd season by the fall, I would assume, which in COVID kind of days is really great because a lot of these shows got hit with COVID, so they're taking a while to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So these people spend most of their time by themselves in this house.
Yeah. The show I think takes place within like a 2-week span, and each day I think they vote somebody out or somebody gets kicked out, and it's a short season. Like it's but for the show wise, and that's the other thing. The release schedule is interesting because they don't release all their episodes at once. They release them in chunks of 4, so it's 3 weeks of 4 episodes each.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I think a reunion at the end. And the reunions are the best.
They might that might be the reason to watch the show.
Yeah, the reunions are the best because in the last season somebody fell in love with a catfish, and she realizes that the person was not real. Like when they open the door, it's like, who are you? And like, oh, I'm so and so, and they're like, I fucking knew it. Like it's just funny. I don't know.
So hold on. Funny. They're falling in love in the DMs.
Yeah.
Of this.
Yes.
Game show.
Yeah. Dude, people fall in love all the time, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. Never even met the person, but you feel like you know them. And Yeah.
And I guess you're sharing this experience.
Yeah.
Of being like one of 12 or whatever.
Right. Like you get to choose like what profile pictures people see, like what pictures on your profile they get to see, like your occupation, you fill out your bio. That's all done in the first episode. And there's like strategy behind all like picking the photos and what you write down and your backstory, stuff like that.
You're really into it.
Yeah. Me and Celeste watch it all the time. I think we could try to get Nelson in once.
Yeah. I guess I might have to turn on another one. Like I just spent all this time talking about how much I love Mighty Ducks and just didn't really want to get into it. But the Circle, I'm happy people have found things they want to watch.
What is it that you don't like though? Like, what is it that?
I don't.
Are you a Big Brother apologist? Are you like it's all Big Brother or nothing?
No, it's like if you're in a house with people, interact with them.
Yeah.
Lie to their face. Lie to their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Big Brother, forget it that it's Big Brother. Having the skill might not be a skill people enjoy en masse, but having the skill to look a person in their face and lie to them, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to hiding behind a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever it is and saying, I'm Lance Bass. No shade to that person who killed it in the game or whatever. But it's just awful. Like, it doesn't, it's like, what do you, it's like, you know how poker players, like real poker players from like the 90s, look down on the poker players now that wear sunglasses when they're at the table?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of vibe. It's like, can you really play the game? But this is the game.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. is basically what I'm saying. I'm an old man. I think
the older Big Brother / Survivor players look at the newer players like,
yeah, there's a different game.
Back in my day, we had no idols.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah, they're playing a completely different game.
Yeah, back in my day, the audience voted for who won. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly, all of those things.
Yeah.
But you're into. I mean, you've never really steered me wrong with anything, so it's like I guess I'm gonna have to push and check it out.
Give it an episode or two, see what happens.
Yeah. You're also into Temptation Island.
Yes. I used to watch the old version.
Yeah, I did too.
Back in the 2000s.
It had to be beginning of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like after Survivor.
They did 2 seasons and then they went away.
Yeah.
And then they came back.
When the original Temptation Island was on,
yeah,
it was interesting to me because I knew I was too young to be watching that show.
Yeah.
I was too young to be watching that show. I knew it. But what was also interesting was it had this like Survivor vibe about it. Mm-hmm. Like when people were getting voted off the island or anything like that. And it's because Survivor came out and it was hot. It was red hot. And everybody was like, we got to make a reality show.
Right.
And they got these people being tempted on an island with their significant others and then getting voted off under like tiki torches and shit like that on a beach.
Yeah.
It was strange. How far removed are they from that now?
Like the new show?
Yeah, the new.
It's still the same format.
It's still the same thing.
Yeah, it's still 2 couples. Sorry, it's still a couple going on the island, then getting divided. So I think. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase. It's 4 couples, previous relationships. So like, one could be 2 years relationship. One of them in the last season was like 11 years that they were together, and they go on this show because they need to figure stuff out. So like they need to figure out whether or not they're going to stick together or not. Mm-hmm. So they'll go on the show and see if they can last or find themselves, or so many different reasons why they go on that show. But yeah.
Do you remember how you got into it?
I think it was because of the reality craze back then. Like, oh, this reality show on a beach, and like it sounded trashy.
Yes.
Like couples are going on this show and banging. Like, well, I want to see this. Like, what? Yeah. And it's still like that. It's still like that now. Like, how do you cheat on your girlfriend? What's wrong with you? Like, but then there are others that like, they don't cheat and they stick through and they end up getting married at the end. And like, yeah. So like, it's both sides of the spectrum. It's kind of crazy to me if you go on that show, but I'll watch it. Like, I don't know if I could ever go on that show. But yeah, it's wild.
Do you watch any other related relationship shows, reality or otherwise? Are you a Bachelor guy?
No Bachelor. I did watch Paradise Hotel, which is very similar to Temptation Island. Mm-hmm. And there's another show where I forgot what it was called. Kristen Cavallari is the host. I forget. There's another one of those. They're all like hot people in a house and they're all fucking and shit. Yeah. I don't know.
the breadth of all the things that you watch is so wide.
Yeah.
Like
So yeah, I have a wide net. Wide
you're
net.
consuming everything, eh?
Wide net. Korean dramas, trashy TV, cheating shows, reality TV,
Yeah.
competition,
It's all about that
game
at the end of
changers.
it's all about that at the end of the day though. Like the smile that it's putting on your face.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it's all about.
yeah.
Um I did not ask you. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
I did not ask you to prepare any recommendations.
No, okay.
But do you have anything top of mind? Something you're watching right now, something you're gonna watch later today, something someone told you you should watch that you're excited to watch? Is there anything?
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up my Plex because my Plex keeps track of everything I'm watching.
Yeah.
Um, so recommendations. So I just finished watching the Friends reunion. That
Wow.
was fucking amazing.
Really?
That was really good. Really good.
So two things. I've seen.
Have you seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
No,
reunion?
I haven't.
It's very similar to this one. Very similar.
I.
That's also was really good. You need to watch that one too.
Okay. Again, there's something instantly in me. It's like someone's giving me a chore. Like that's what that sounds like. I'm not excited about either of them. I love.
See, with Friends, like Friends is exciting because I've been wanting them to do another episode forever.
Why?
Like for both Friends and Seinfeld, I always wanted like just do another episode, just do a reunion episode. Like the other shows have done it. Like I think MASH did one, or yeah, like sometimes they come back and they do like a one time, 20 years later. I always wanted it more with Seinfeld. Because the way that show ended, like they left that show on a cliffhanger. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. Were you ever into Seinfeld?
I'd not heavy
at
enough.
At the end, they all end up going to jail.
Oh,
and that's how the show ends. And it's just like, what? Like,
and then that's it.
That's it. Like what? No, I hate shows that don't end it properly. So I always wanted them to do another episode. Like maybe they get out of jail and like how are they now? But they're never gonna do that.
But what's properly to you? What is
mean?
Ending a show properly? What does that mean?
Like I think Friends ended properly. I think they tied up all the loose ends. Everyone had like a happy ending and they moved on. That was it. Like,
so you want like put a bow on my gift?
Yeah. Give me an incentive for sticking with the show all this time. Like end it. Like, don't Dexter. Okay. The way Dexter ended, like that is such a bullshit. Like, why would you end it like that? Like, and I'm glad that they're bringing it back because maybe they can actually finish it properly this time. But, yeah, it's just like, I don't want, like, what was the point of me watching all these seasons if you're not going to end it properly? Like, I don't know. That's just me.
So Friends, I've seen two things on the internet. Either people are slamming them for Botox.
Yeah, I noticed the Botox.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, you do.
The only one that didn't do Botox?
Kudrow. I heard it was Lisa Kudrow.
No, I thought, yeah, it probably is Lisa Kudrow, but I was thinking Matt LeBlanc.
Okay.
Because Matt came out and it was like, that guy's gained some weight. Like he don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
this is life.
He has a beer gut and I don't even know if he's in the show business anymore, but he was the one that didn't really care. Like he was just like,
he's aging.
Yeah, like he's like whatever.
He's rich and he's aging.
But all the others, they all like, yeah, Courtney and Jennifer Aniston, Botoxed. Matthew Perry was Botoxed, and something looked off with him. Like halfway through it, I was watching it with Celeste and Terrell, and I was like, is it just me or something wrong with Matthew Perry? Because he was like slurring his speech, and apparently apparently I googled it, and he had dental surgery the day before.
Yeah.
Filming, so that's why he was like that. So that made sense. But yeah, I mean, yeah, some of them are still in the biz, and like some of them are, yeah.
whether or not it looks great to us doesn't really matter.
It's how they feel. Yeah.
This is the things these people wanted to do. Yeah, I don't know. But that was the one major thing I heard was the Botox is prevalent. And then the other thing I saw was someone I follow on Instagram sobbing. It finished and she was sobbing, just crying like crazy. Is it sad?
I didn't cry. No.
And you are free to tell us that you were crying through things. You're saying this wasn't it for me, for you.
I cried when Iron Man died. Like, I didn't cry on this one.
Yeah.
I cried in the Mighty Ducks show at the end.
Exactly.
So I didn't cry on this one. No.
Exactly.
Like it was nice to see them back together, and apparently they hadn't seen each other. They weren't. This is the first time they were all in the same room together, which was a little off-putting because I always thought that they were like the best of friends, like the best group. That's what made the show so good.
Oh,
But
because
to
you
hear
believe
that they haven't been in the same room together, it's like, oh, that sucks. And at one point at the end, they were like, let's not wait another 20 years for us to get in the same room. Like, let's do this again soon.
Mhm.
So it was nice to see that. But no, I didn't cry. No.
So part of what made Friends good for you is you believed they were actually friends.
I feel like I don't know. I was always under the impression that they were a close group, and I don't know. Maybe it made the show better. I don't know.
Yeah.
So so
Friends
my recommendations would be like Friends. What else am I watching?
The Friends reunion. You're like,
Friends
watch
reunion.
the Friends reunion.
Star Wars: The Bad Batch. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's a great show. It's continuing the storyline.
Does that pick up at the end of The Last Mandalorian?
Yeah, it picks up at the end of the Clone Wars.
End of Clone Wars.
So this is like a continuation of the Clone Wars show, and it picks up Clone Wars. Towards the end, they introduce these new characters, which this show is based off of. These characters, and it picks up right after the Clone Wars show ended, and it coincides with like the Empire starting up and Order 66 and all that stuff. So it's very interesting. It's a good show. Clone Wars, I think I've always said, is the best Star Wars IP that they have. They've told the best stories. And this is another continuation of that universe. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, it was great doing this again with you.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to be back.
Lots of fun. We might have some surprises coming up for the people that we're working out.
Possibly. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, indeed.
Any reality TV fans out there?
Yeah, it's almost for sure, but we won't say anything just yet until we lock it all down. But again, it's been a blast.
Thanks for having me again.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Take care, brother.
Okay, take care.
Once again, thank you for joining us on It's in the Details. As always, please remember to share, like, rate, review, comment, subscribe, wherever you get the show. Take care, y'all. Peace.